Let's talk about that a little bit, because DHS Secretary Mayorkas said that the migrants coming through the southern border is historic, the numbers coming through. I've talked to Republicans and Democrats. Both say there is a crisis at the southern border. Obviously, the solutions on how to fix that differ greatly by party. So what should we watch out for next when it comes from a law perspective?
I think at the southern border, it's important to note that for 20 years, we had an orderly system for processing asylum seekers. People could present at the border, they'd be screened under a credible fear interview, and if they qualified, they'd be allowed in, and if not, they'd be deported. That was a functioning system. We shut that down under COVID, under Title 42, and so for almost 4 years, we had zero asylum processing. Now we're back into a system where there's fits and starts, and sometimes we do and sometimes we don't. You have to use the app, and it's chaotic and confusing. And so we have not entered back into the system where we have a mechanism for screening asylum seekers. And so the result, the impact of that, is chaos along the border. My argument, coming from my experience of doing asylum law in Texas for 15 years and watching this over many administrations, is that we need to just settle into an orderly routine where we allow people to come and seek asylum and we screen them quickly. But when we shut the border down and we have desperate migrants, many of whom do qualify for asylum, and they're subjected to danger and kidnapping in Mexico, they're going to keep trying to come in until we give them an opportunity to be screened. And that's the reality of the situation.
And when it comes to SB 4 specifically, as an immigration attorney, what's on your radar that you want to put on ours between now and March?
My message to immigrants in Texas about Senate Bill 4 is not to panic, to know your rights, to understand the law. It only applies to people who have entered the country illegally recently, right? To know things like that, to consult with an immigration lawyer and find out if there's a way you can get yourself in legal status so that you can be protected. My message to the rest of the state of Texas about Senate Bill 4 is that this is a law that harms everyone. It harms our economy. It burdens our law enforcement officers with having to know an immigration system that's very complicated. It hurts public safety because it's going to create a whole community that has fear of law enforcement now. And so it's just a bad idea. So just in terms of, thinking and talking about this law, it's bad for everyone. And I think as long as we can start having that conversation and stop just following this idea that immigration is a problem and it just must be stopped. That is not the reality. And so to the extent we're hearing those messages from people in elected office, we need to pause and think a little more deeply about what the truth of the situation is and what's best for everybody.
Kate Lincoln-Goldfinch, I appreciate your expertise. And as this situation develops, I hope you come back on, join me, and break it down. Thank you so much.